Alright, this week I'm riding the Kalkhoff Agattu. And it might be the Agattu, but I think it's the Agattu. Kind of interesting name. Now these bikes are out of Germany. And as you know, Kalkhoff has been making some great bikes. One of their West Coast distributorship is here nearby, so I got a chance to try it out. Now they made their first appearance at my e-bike seminar this fall, and so that was really great. They brought the Focus bikes and Kalkhoffs. Okay, so what we got here is it has their own impulse drive. So it's a mid-drive setup, working through an 8-speed geared hub. So that makes it a real nice combination. And also too, through their electronics, it does have a throttle interrupt. So when you shift gears, it lets off the power just temporarily to make a nice clean shift. Now we got big 700C tires, 738s, and it does have a front dynamo hub that runs the front and rear lighting. And it has a switch where you can turn it off, but when you quit riding, the actual headlight turns off, but you might be able to see it. There's two little LEDs that kind of act like a front parking light. They'll stay on for probably 5 minutes, and as does the tail light. So it's got a real plushy front fork on there. Of course, the low frame design. Nice big strong kickstand. Now this bike has a cafe lock built in. That's it right there in the rear wheel, and you know, those aren't a fix-all, but it's definitely a great way to go. It's got the rack time rack that works with a lot of different bags, suspension seat post, and a real comfy saddle. And up here we got ergo grips, kind of a cool little design bell, a little different than some. There's a display unit, and it does have 3 levels of power assist, and it is a torque assist setting. There's no throttle. And there's your twist shift for the gears. As you can see, it's laid out really nice. Now check out these brakes. Now, these are hydraulic rim brakes, and they work really nice, and they're not too grabby or too powerful like some of these hydraulic discs that are going on these bikes that really are a big issue for me. There's a lot of people who just can't handle that kind of power, so these really work nice. Okay, so that's the Kalkhoff Agattu. Now one thing about this bike that kind of drove me a little nuts is it does come with a European Dunlop valve stems, which really aren't adaptable to our Prestas and our Schraders, but it's got a fairly usable tire pump built in right there on the rack. Hopefully all their American models come with Schrader valves or Presta, something that we're used to, but this one doesn't, so I had to add a little air to it, and luckily it had the pump there. So that's the Kalkhoff Agattu, smooth riding bike. For 250 watts, it's a lot of power. Now they are upgrading their bikes next year, the 2016 models. This is a 2015, and so hopefully I'll get to spend some time with those. So keep an eye on my bike blog on WordPress for a full write-up on this. Kalkhoff's making some sweet bikes, and these definitely come out of a different direction than most of the e-bikes you're going to see. Got some nice features. I was like, hey, there it is, the Kalkhoff. Sweet riding little bike.